Not Move Podcast presents the Ringside Rewind, your weekly whiplash recap of everything happening on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown.
Every twist, every pop, every powerbomb, we're breaking it all down.
If it shook the ropes, we've got it. Stream it everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, it's Robert with the Not Move Podcast. Hey, and I got with me a very special guest, Zip Zap. What's up, man?
Thanks for the invite. Can't wait to get into recent events, man. A lot of things happening.
Yes, sir. There is a lot to talk about. The main topic for tonight, though, is WrestleMania, man. Night one, man. Me personally, before we get into this, I feel like night two was better, but night one still cooked a little bit, you know?
Okay.
So let's talk about it. We had the first match of the night, The Vision and IShowSpeed versus the Usos and LA Knight, man. Of course, the Usos and LA Knight takes the win. But my thing about this match, this is what I found special about this match, man. IShowSpeed showed that he's more than just a regular streamer. He showed that he has that athletic ability that shows that he can be in the wrestling world. How do you feel about IShowSpeed, man?
I don't think he wants to be a wrestler going forward. I think this is just something that, it was an opportunity for him. And let's call it what it is. We knew he came from an athletic background, and it showed in the ring. The guy, if he truly wanted to make this his passion, he could have a future. I'm not saying he's going to be in the elite of elite, but there would be a future for him in the sport. That being said, I enjoyed the match. I enjoy how they showcased him. I enjoyed the aftermath with him doing the splash on Logan Paul. I think everyone played their part right, and this was the perfect opener for WrestleMania weekend.
For sure, man. When I saw IShowSpeed, at first I saw Logan Paul about to splash IShowSpeed. I was like, no, come on now. We ain't going to do like IShowSpeed like that on his first WrestleMania. Come on now. And then I saw the LA Knight and the Usos decide to help him, and then he ended up, when he did that splash, first off, he didn't even do it from the top rope. He did it from the top of the ring, the very top.
The ring post, yeah.
And that splash was so, I loved it, man. That's all I can say about that, man. What did they call it? The speed splash? The
IShow splash. But here's the thing, to show his athleticism, most time when people do it, it's a straight jump. But because of the way Logan Paul was on the table, he actually had to turn himself in the air to land properly. It was just really well done.
Yo, yeah. Like everyone's been saying, man, out of all the streamers that were there, my favorite streamer that was at that thing that showed off, that showed up and showed out, IShowSpeed, man. And you gotta give credit where credit's due. IShowSpeed deserves all the credit, man. He did his thing.
Facts.
Now when we get into this second match, man, hold on, let me Nia Jax, was this the second match? I'm not sure. It's not all in order.
You're talking about the ladies, but I don't recall if the ladies was on the that 1 hour free that ESPN was doing.
I think it was, because that's where before we get into that, let me say the card real quick. Because I want to talk about the return first before we even talk about the match.
Yes.
Nia Jax, Lash Legend came out, cool. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair came out, cool. Bailey and Lyra came out, cool. Bri Bella came out, then Nikki Bella came out, but Nikki Bella said, I'm sorry, I can't do this, but I brought someone that can help Bri with her WrestleMania opportunity. And Paige is back. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man. I became a fanboy once I saw Paige come out. I'm not gonna lie. I got too damn happy, man.
You know what? I've heard the rumors that she was going to return for quite a while, so it was good to see her back. She can go. She can go. She still has a lot to offer the in wrestling, so it was a nice return. And I do want to give a bit of props right now. I thought Nia Jax and Lash Legends walkout was amazing.
For sure.
They paid tribute to Demolition in a modified outfit. Demolition always used to come out with all black with the spikes. Last Legend and Nia Jax walked out in all white with the spikes on, a modified for ladies. I thought it was really well done. It was a cool throwback for somebody like me. So I really enjoyed that. It was one of my favorite walkouts the entire weekend.
Yeah, man. When I saw them come out, right, and like most people were like, "What are they doing?" Because I was live for this. I went live for WrestleMania where people could watch it. But people were like, "What are they doing?" I'm like, "Y'all don't know who Demolition is? Y'all don't understand this? This is actually perfect, man. They just got put in the Hall of Fame, and now they're coming out with the white color version. They used to wear all black, just like that, and they just came out just perfect. Their walkout was perfect. I'll say the best walkouts of the night would have to, for that night one, would actually have to be the females match, the old females match. I'm gonna have to give
I thought the ladies cooked. On WrestleMania weekend in general, I thought the ladies cooked.
Absolutely. And for people that said, we're gonna get into this later, but for people that said Jade can't wrestle, man, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Not trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it.
Yep. Jay proved y'all wrong, man. Even though she lost the title, she did her thing, man. That's what I'm talking about. The storm is coming. Anyway,
Jay can go, and she's. Oh man, we'll talk later about that
for sure. But with that match, the females match, Paige and Bri ends up getting the win. Man, the match itself, it was exciting. Like we said a second ago, all the women, including this match itself, was probably the best match. I can't say that. Actually, I can. Night one wasn't that good. This was the best match of night one, in my opinion.
Ooh. Okay. The one thing that stood out to me about the match, what is going on with Bailey?
Facts.
Did you happen to notice that Bailey looked, I don't know if something happened during the match or if she was upset at something, but she, after the match is over, she seemed a bit upset. Or maybe she wasn't upset and she was just trying to get back to, out of the ring and backstage, but something just didn't gel right. Sure. I just wonder either this is the beginning of a heel turn for Bailey, or she was just rather annoyed at maybe she just doesn't like Paige. I'm not assuming, just throwing it out there. Something seemed like it was up with Bailey. Something to keep your eye on going forward.
Well, I don't know if she doesn't. I think she does mess with Paige. I think she's just turning heel after that match, because in the beginning of the match, when Paige came out, they showed Bailey's face, and she looked surprised and happy, right? But at the end of the match, when Paige and them won, like you said, it looked like she just didn't like it, man. And I think this is where she turns heel. I think she's going to turn on Lyra. Not this Monday, because this Monday already happened, but next Monday.
It's possible. It's possible. Very possible.
Yeah, but next match, we have Becky Lynch, the man, versus AJ Lee. Me personally, it's hard to say this, and I don't want to say it, but that match wasn't the best. It was good.
It wasn't the best match. It wasn't the best match that either one are capable of. You know what? It was just it was a solid match. Let's not act like it was a bad match. It wasn't a bad match. It was a solid match. It wasn't the best match they've had. However, with AJ Lee taking some time off after Mania, it only made sense for them to do the title change. Becky's the right person. This is also an acknowledgement from AJ Lee to Becky. So everything about this felt right to me. So
it's kind of passing the torch down, but the torch has already been passed down, but you're passing it down again. You
still got to do it. You still got to make it formal. You know what I mean? So that's what we saw.
Yep. And man, it was solid. Our next match, Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Gunther put Seth Rollins to sleep. Not only that, Braun Breaker is back. You take the floor.
Yeah, I thought this was an excellent match. I wish Braun Breaker hadn't interfered and they left it as a one-on-one, but it is Mania. They did want to make a splash return, so this was also one of them. Braun Breaker interfering. I wish he had interfered and it happened in the ring as opposed to it being outside the ring, because it sounds to me like some of the crowd wasn't even aware what was going on because it took place outside the ring. Had Braun Breaker actually delivered the spear in the ring, the entire crowd could have been engaged in it.
Well,
Um,
I thought Braun Breaker delivered the spear after the match. Was I wrong on that?
well, he delivered two of them. He delivered one during the match, which is when he hit him on when he hit him on next to the ring and the ring barrier. That was during the match, and then he started walking back up the ramp, and that's when he hit him a second time. And that was when he made the big run going all the way down the walkway, because the walkway was huge. The ramp was huge. The second one, he ran all the way down the middle of it, and that was the big famous one that you see on most highlights, because Seth Rollins just happened to be at the beginning of the ramp, and he got hit on that one.
For sure. Amen. Yo, talk about. I want to talk about that ramp real quick, man. That thing was so like watching Braun Breaker run down. It's like watching him run down a football field, which is funny because it is a football field.
Yeah, they said that was like a 75-yard ramp. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I did see somebody say, that it was about 75 yards. It was a huge ramp.
It makes sense because that leaves 25 to 30 yards for the ring, and the stadium's already set up. But they threw chairs and everything down there. But yeah, it makes sense. I could see it being 75 yards. It looked that long. The way Braun Breaker had to run.
It did.
But yeah, Gunther got the win. Paul Heyman owes Gunther a favor. What do you think that favor?
I think this was. We'll get to that when we talk about night 2. I do think that again, this was to me an excellent match. I really like the technical catch as catch can style that these two put forth. Really good.
Oh no, that was my second favorite match of that night, man. Gunther and Seth in the ring together is perfect. I mean, it's two of the best, and I know people gonna get me for calling Gunther one of the best, but let's be honest. The way he's moving right now, he's looking like one of the best.
Gunther can go. You can see his years of experience show. One thing he had to adjust to when he came to the WWE was to be a more technical wrestler, because he was always technically good, but he was more of a hard hitter when he was in development and in the indies. But once he came to the main roster, he developed more on a technical aspect, and it shows. And he's become one of the best in-ring performers there is in the WWE.
For sure. And like you said, he is one of the best ring performers. Like, to go, I mean, he kept up with John Cena. He kept up, to be fair, they're at the end of their career. Kept up with John Cena. I don't know. But he kept up with John Cena. He kept up with Goldberg. Kept up with AJ Styles. I'm just glad he didn't end up retiring Brock Lesnar. That's what I'm glad on.
We'll put that on hold for a second.
Our next match, though, before the two main events, I kind of forgot to write this match on there, so I'm sorry, y'all. But this match is worth talking about. Everybody knows it is. Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf.
Yes.
Versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. Jacob Fatu hits Drew McIntyre with the toolbox. Then I think did he go through the table? I'm pretty sure Drew went.
Yeah, he gave him that the double jump moonsault through the table.
Yep.
For the win.
And Jacob won. What was your thoughts on this match, man?
I already knew going into this that Jacob Fatu was going to win, because Drew's taken some time away from the WWE to go film the Highlander. So congratulations to Drew on that. it only made sense that he was now going to, the WWE is now going to give Fatu the ball, give him a chance to run with it. They know he has a following. They know that there's interest in the guy. And based on what happened Monday, we know what the next step seems to be. Is it time to make him champion? We shall see.
If I had to say something on this one, I'd have to say no. Not yet. Backlash. We're going to go ahead and talk about this match because we're not going to talk about Monday Night Raw, but we're going to talk
Not yet.
Okay. We won't talk about this yet. We'll save it for the end. But by the way, y'all, we're not talking about Monday Night Raw. We're just talking about one thing on Monday Night Raw. We're saving that for a later show. We're actually going to do 2 shows this week. We're going to aim for Friday after either Friday or Saturday. We might do Saturday because Friday is Friday Night SmackDown. So we might just aim for Saturday, and we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. But like you said, man, is it time to put the title on Jacob? Like you said, we'll talk about that later. But my conclusion in that is no, as of right now.
I'm going to go with a solid maybe so, but future.
For sure. In the future, definitely. 100%. Next match, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Valkyria. Now, Roxanne, everybody came out and helped Liv win the title. Me personally, I knew Liv was winning this title. I knew she was winning this title.
I'm with you on this one. Robert, I'm completely with you on this one. I thought this one was one of the easier predictions to see that you had going into Mania, that they were going to take that. And it's not that Stephanie Valkyria has done anything wrong. She's been a wonderful champion. It just seemed like all the everything leading into this seemed like it was going, building up Liv. So
for sure, 100%. And I mean, if they were going to let Rhea win, Liv was going to win because they're both going to hold the title to the king and the crown jewel, at least. They're going to face each other at crown jewel. That's what but the match itself, it was a great match. I liked it. I just don't like how everyone has to interfere to help Liv.
You absolutely landed on a point I was about to make. The only issue I had with the match, and I did like the one-on-one wrestling they had, it felt like all the interferences, I don't like to see that too many times on one card. You know what I mean? If it happens once in a card, it's impactful. It happens twice, you go, okay. But when it starts to happen repeatedly, it just, I don't know, it takes away from the match itself. And I think that might have been the case here. I actually enjoyed the one-on-one between Liv and Stephanie Valkyria. But again, we saw another run-in, which we knew would happen. And it just, I don't know. To me, it took a little something away. Otherwise, I thought it was an excellent performance by both ladies.
For sure. The match was great. It's just all the interference. That leads to the next match. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I hate it. Why is Cody Rhodes still champ? I don't even want to talk about it, but I'll let you have the floor on this one, man. I can't talk about it. I hate it.
I have no problem with this result whatsoever because of how it was done. I thought they told a very good story in the ring, and that's why it all made sense wrestling-wise. I know people wanted to see Orton get his big moment at another Mania. It only made sense to have Cody win, especially when you look at the fact that he put over Cena last year. It would have made him look weaker had he lost to Orton this year. By the way, Cody took some ridiculously stiff shots during this match. Orton is generally considered one of the safer guys to work with, but he laid them in stiff with Cody during this match. And Cody was legit banged up after this match. Also, I know we're not going to talk about Raw, but this played a part of Raw as well. So,
I mean, yeah.
Props to to the wrestlers themselves, Cody and Randy, for putting on what I thought was a good match. However, again, we got to talk about outside interferences.
That's why I say it's horrible right there. You got that.
And this is the third match in Mania where we saw outside interferences on night one. And we knew it was going to happen. We knew Pat McAfee was going to get involved. We knew Jelly Roll was going to get involved. Oh, please. Just give us a match between two people so we know who's better. Let it be settled there at WrestleMania, your biggest event. Now, I do think because of the aftermath that this feud may continue, although, again, based on something that happened at Raw, not quite sure which direction the WWE will lean to first.
For sure.
Otherwise, I thought the match was good. I know some people just aren't happy with the result.
Now, see, me, it wasn't the result. It's how the match went. It's Pat McAfee comes back, beats the ref, gets counted, and then Randy ends up RKOing Pat, then gets crossroad. I feel like the match, if you wanted to do a crossroad, cool. We could have done a crossroad. We could have done an RKO. But Pat McAfee didn't have to be there. It gets me every time I think about it, man. Why? Why do you mess up a match like that? Like, you got Randy Orton, the legend killer, and you got the future. You got the future of WWE. As much as we're tired of Cody Rhodes, he is the future of WWE. He's a 3-time champ. He's main evented 3 WrestleManias now. He's on fire. Cody's doing his thing. But yeah, that's the only thing. I agree with you 100% on that. But yeah, before we get into night 2, we're actually going to go to commercial break. But before we get into night 2 and commercial break, we've got news from the Not Move Podcast chat. Swerve Strickland. Apparently, someone from the podcast is in contact with Swerve, and he might be coming on the show.
That's awesome.
I just thought that would be cool to talk about.
And let it be known, Swerve is a super main event player in AEW. So it would be an honor to have him on the show.
Oh, he's coming on right now.
Oh.
Hold on, because they just said send me the link. So look, let me read this all to you. They said they are doing the pod right now. Yes, he is the biggest star right now. They are going to trip out. Really? Yeah, let's send me the link right now, JB, to the pod. Ask them on YouTube and comment.
Send the link. By all means, send the link.
Facts. Send the link. I would definitely love to have Swerve on the show. We would love to have Swerve on the show, man.
Robert, if you need a moment to go ahead and send it, by all means, please do.
Yeah, everybody give me a second. I'm going to send this out.
While he's doing that, I just want to talk about something that happened during Mania, if I may.
You got the floor.
We haven't moved on to night 2. So I'm going to keep this night 1 related. I saw earlier a lot of people always trying to compare night 1 versus night 2, which one had the best value. It's a little hard to say and always do that because some nights of wrestling seem to be more technically based wrestling, where the other one seems to be a bit more superstar or celebrity driven, if you will. So it can be a little hard to compare the nights themselves. However, which way you enjoy it, it doesn't matter as long as you are enjoying the product. And that's the main thing. I do have to say that I enjoyed things that happened on both night. It's impossible to have an incredibly, 5-star matches throughout. Even the booker doesn't set up his matches that way because it can't happen. However, there was some really, really good wrestling that did happen during Mania. I believe it was actually one of the, of course it's Mania, it usually is their best show of the year. Just in general, in terms of being a pay-per-view, I thought it was actually one of their better ones.
Boys. Real quick, y'all. Everybody, listen, we got some breaking news, and A-Train's about to drop it for us. Go ahead, A-Train.
This is huge for the Not Move podcast, boys. Boys and girls, everybody watching at home. The Not Move podcast has just booked an interview with Trick Williams. So everybody be ready. Huh?
Trick Williams or Swerve?
Trick Williams.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Isn't that huge?
Yep. When is this?
We actually are in contact with him right now, and he has agreed to come on our podcast.
That's awesome.
Our wrestling show?
Yes, sir. So
be next Tuesday, or we're doing one Friday too, or Saturday.
I'm gonna get the details, but I just had to come and break the news. This is huge for our podcast.
Y'all heard that? We about to have that whoop that trick on the show, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers.
Whoop that trick.
A-Train, if you will, try to find out when his best for his schedule, because these guys have tons of moving parts happening all day long, and we will try to accommodate as to what works best for him to see if we could find a sweet spot.
Yep, yeah. I'm sorry that I can't join the podcast. I'm super busy tonight. But I just had to break this news with us. We have confirmed an interview with this gentleman on StreamYard. So he will be joining us for the ringside rewind. So this is huge news, boys, girls.
I gotta stand up and give a round of applause for that.
Isn't this crazy? Isn't this crazy?
This is great. This is amazing, bro.
This is going to be the biggest star we've had on ringside rewind.
States champion will be on ringside rewind.
Yep. This is the biggest guy that we've gotten for wrestling, Robert.
Yo, this is bigger than big. What are you talking about, A-Train? This is Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers.
Yep, that's why I had to come in. I had to break the news. So we got to get our questions together because we are in the big leagues now, boys.
I already got my questions together. I got 300 questions off the top of my head for Trick Williams.
So I'm sorry, boys. I just had to drop that breaking news. And I ain't dropping breaking news unless it's 100% facts. So coming to Ringside Rewind, Robert, our biggest interview of the year.
Trick Willie, man. Let's get it.
Yeah,
awesome stuff, A-Train.
Yep, it is confirmed. All right, boys, I'll let you do your thing. I just wanted to drop the breaking news because this is huge. This is huge for not only the podcast, not only just wrestling in general, but we're in the big leagues now, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All righty, boys. Have a great episode.
Thank you.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Hey, but boom, whenever it is, dog, I'll make sure you're there because you're like, if anyone's there, it's going to be you for sure because you've been consistent with the shows. You're always there with me, man. And I really appreciate it. So if anyone comes up, it's you.
I much appreciated, man. Shall we begin night 2?
Before we do that, we actually got to go to commercial break. JB kind of changed these commercials up, so I got to figure out which one's the right one.
Oh, fair enough.
The Not Move podcast is fueled by Dubby Energy. Smooth, jitter-free focus, and flavors that slap. Mango, berry, watermelon. Whatever gets you locked in, they've got it. Hit up Dubby.gg, use promo code NOTMOVED, and snag 10% off your order. Stay not moved, stay energized.
Number Friday nights, 9 Eastern. It's the Dribble NBA edition on the Not Move podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
The Not Moved podcast drop is here. Snapbacks, hoodies, mugs, stickers, totes, everything you need to rep the convo everywhere you go. Limited run, unlimited style. Tap the link, fill the cart, and
tap into the Not Moved podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcasts. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Need some new Not Move drip? The In the Wickets hoodie just dropped. Super soft fleece, heavyweight feel, and the official NMP patch on the sleeve. Tap add to cart, check out, and let us handle the rest. In a couple days, it shows up at your door, ready to rock. Rep the podcast from the couch to the tip.
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of In the Wicked, our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus, a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same on.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
and
replays.
a whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind.
Ringside.
Oh, the Orphan Elimination Chamber tee just dropped. Fresh out the box. Look at this.
That print is nasty. Chain link O, silver hit. It's tough.
It's soft too, y'all. Fits right. Little drip for the Elimination Chamber weekend.
We rocking these all season.
If you're part of the Not Move fam, you already know.
Jump on it before it's
Grab
gone.
yours now at Not Move Shop.
Episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by the MLB Shop. They have every team's gear, from classic caps to World Baseball Classic hoodies, all official and all ready for game day. Tap the link in our bio to head straight to the shop and snag your favorite merch.
The drop is here. NMP gear built for every day and game day. Hoodies, mugs, and the Coach Common jersey in bold gold. Rep the movement. Feel the energy. Shop new arrivals.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Attention Not Move Nation. Our first ever jersey has landed. The NMP by JB Sport Talk collab brings premium mesh, bold gold accents, and that undeniable game day energy. Plus, hoodie drop.
Today's episode of Not Moved is brought to you by Open Goal, the world's #1 backyard goal. If you love soccer but hate chasing balls into the neighbor's yard, this thing is a game changer. Its rebound net sends missed shots right back to you, and the side nets keep your landscaping and your windows safe. It's perfect for kids, for training, or just having fun.
Today's episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by Walmart.com. With our storefront in the Walmart app, you can get everything you need. Pick up or have it delivered.
We ordered dinner while recording, and it showed up before we wrapped.
Better Good sweet corn and burrata ravioli.
Nuri protein drinks, even St. Patrick's Day treats.
Walmart.com.
Not Move, fam. Southgate edition just landed, and it's fire. Check the tee. Watch out for the skis and the wickets. Hockey stick, cricket wickets, all vibes. We got hoodies, mugs, caps, beanies, whatever you need. Cop yours before they...
At the Not Move podcast, just drop the gear.
Heavyweight hoodies, premium cotton, street ready.
Caps, mugs, and more. Every detail on point.
Whether you're hooping, tailgating, or just repping the pod, NMP fits the culture.
Limited drops. When they're gone, they're gone.
Cop yours today at notmoveshop.fourthwall.com.
Welcome back, everybody. If y'all weren't here to hear the news, we have a special guest coming on the Not Move podcast on Ringside Rewind. Trick Williams, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers, will be on Ringside Rewind. Me and Zep will have the honor to interview and talk to Trick Williams, dog. And real quick, before we get into night two, because I know that's what everybody's waiting on. I know everybody's waiting for night two because that's the best night. Y'all see that link up above? Click that link. Use code Not Moved. It'll take you to Bet US, all the betting apps, and use code Not Moved, and you get 10% off. Check us out, man. Now let's get into night two, man. Everybody knows how it started. I won't even have to look at it. The Beast, Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi, the ruler.
Yes.
Man, what a match. Even though it was up to 10 minutes only. It
didn't need to be any longer. It did not need to be a moment longer than it was.
Nope. Match was perfect. They did it just how it was supposed to be. Exactly how it was supposed to be, man. Oba got the win. Now, this is where things get interesting. Did Brock Lesnar retire? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Zip, how do you feel about the match? How do you feel about Brock Lesnar?
Okay. We talked earlier about a passing of the torch. That is exactly what we literally just saw. Brock Lesnar has been the single most physically dominant wrestler we have seen over the past 20, 25 years, bar none. He has now passed that torch onto a young man who has ascended like no one else before him, somebody that the crowd clearly wants to get behind, someone who hasn't just won over the crowd, he's taken the crowd. Okay, the crowd is calling for him before he even comes anywhere near the ring. Before they do his entrance, people are calling for him. They are cheering his name through other people's matches. The crowd wants him. The crowd now has him. And I know we're going to talk about Raw later, but there is one thing that happened that I have to talk about. Oba Femi's appearance on Raw, I want to remind everybody, we've seen that one other time. When Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at Mania, the crowd booed him, which is the opposite of what happened to Oba. But when he spoke only a few words, and it meant everything. He said, at the time, Roman Reigns said, "It's my yard now." Dropped the microphone and left. Oba Femi stood in that ring to the adoration of the crowd, and he said, "It's my time to rule." I forgot the exact words, but it was similar to that. Like, it's his time now. Yep. Dropped the microphone and left. We just witnessed somebody who's probably going to get the rocket strapped to them and is getting ready to take off. The match itself, I enjoyed it. I think it showed that Oba can be a beast. I think Brock did everything he could to put Oba as that next beast type wrestler. You know, he by no selling for Brock, which no one does. You know, Brock was cool with it. Now, the ending. Brock taking off the gloves, taking off the shoes, putting them in the middle of the ring, making the X gesture, which usually means something real is happening. It would be one thing if he would have taken off the gloves, laid them down, and walked out the ring. I would have said, that's his goodbye to Mania. He'll probably give us the goodbye farewell match with Gunther.
Yep.
But you only take off your boots if it's really it. The only other time that we saw it happen where it was Mark Henry, and that turned out to be a gigantic swerve that happened on everybody, but that was awesome.
Yeah,
this was different. Brock literally cried in the ring. So either he's an outstanding actor and we've never given him credit for that, or this was a very real moment.
I think it was real. I think he's done.
Could he come back? I mean, could he come back for one final match? It's very possible. Maybe that's the favor from Gunther. I have to be the one to retire him. You know, is it possible that Lesnar will say, you know what, I'll do one more match? It's very possible. But I have to say that a couple of weeks ago, I heard a rumor, and I certainly hope it's not true, that Brock is once again battling his illness, that diverticulitis, that once, you know, so I heard that he's dealing with that. If that's true, it would be hard to picture him. It would be hard to him to picture him saying, yeah, I want to grind out a 20-minute match with Gunther.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's a big difference between having a 10-minute match where you can kind of protect yourself. For the most part, you're not going to be doing tons of super cardio with a guy like Oba. It's just going to be a hard hitting, but you can mitigate that. It's another thing to get into a 20-minute grinder with a guy like Gunther, who's going to, you know, constantly push your cardio, not to mention the kicks that he does normally to the midsection, the chops to the chest. If it's true, Brock has no need to put himself through that.
Facts. No need. And if that's his final match, that's passing the torch. It was perfect. It was perfect.
You know, if he comes back for one more, so be it. But if that was it, I hope, thank you, Brock. I do hope we at least hear from him, though. I hope he at least comes down. It would have been nice if he would have came down to the ring on Monday, you know, said, you know, hello, thank you, everybody. You know, this is it for me. But he didn't. So it seems like the door still might be open. I guess only time will tell.
For sure. Now, our next match was the 6-man ladder match. You had Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio, Pinta, Rusev, JD McDonough, and Dragon Lee. This match had everything. I'm talking about Javon Evans from the top rope RKO to Rusev. I'm pretty sure it was Rusev that went through the ladder Pinta hit Dragon Lee with his move on the ladder. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt, but at the end, Pinta ends up retaining the title. But this match itself, for the time it had, 5 stars.
I have to say a very special shout out during this match. To me, the MVP of this match was JD McDonough.
Thanks.
Holy crap. What a performance he put through. It was a tremendous match by everyone doing completely high-risk things. Rusev generally being the guy who seemed to be catching people, which makes sense being that he's the biggest guy. But even he looked solid. I mean, everybody really went all out during this match. Everyone was on their feet on this match the entire time, and it was well deserved and well done. You know, tons of props and tons of credit to everyone involved in this match. You had to like this match. You literally had to like this match.
For sure. The match was, if you're a wrestling fan, you love this match. It's not even like it. You love this match because this match itself had everything. You had tables, ladders, chairs. Everything came out in this match, man. And for Penta to retain, I did not expect that. I'm not going to lie. My pick was Rey Mysterio. I was wrong on that. Penta retained the title. Congratulations to Penta. But the match, like you said, just to buttle off what you said, man, it was everything. And shout out to JD McDonough for putting in all the... JD McDonough did everything, basically. But our next match, this is kind of funny because we just talked about having this guy on coming on the ringside rewind, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers, Trick Williams. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So Trick Williams versus Sammie Zyann. First off, I want to talk about Trick Williams' interest, man.
Yes.
I love it.
Hey, I don't. Out of everybody's entrance going into Mania, I was looking forward to his the most.
Yo, you know what's funny? You know how Trick Williams kept looking back, right? At his
the train.
Yeah, you know how I kept looking back at it? Well, the reason was because someone kept touching his coat. Someone kept touching it and kept rubbing on it. And he kept looking back like, you gonna start touching my coat? You start touching it? It was on TikTok. I found it on TikTok where somebody was touching his coat, rubbing it and everything. It's like, what are y'all doing? Let the man have his interest.
I have to say, out of all the things, it's funny to me that the two best entrances I enjoyed the most was Trick and his Williams and his fiance. Like I said, I really loved the demolition entrance. That to me was just it was incredible. It was whoever thought of that concept, kudos. Trick's entrance was so over the top. When at first you didn't even realize the train was there because of the camera angle. And then when it switched camera angles, you're like, what the hell? How long is that thing? If the rampway was about, and we guessed it's realistically about 65 to 70 yards, that train had to at least be 50 yards long.
Speaking of that train, boys and girls, I know that I'm interrupting again, but it is actually Swerve Strickland. They delivered the message a little wrong.
All good.
But Swerve Strickland's going to be fire, though, still.
You know what? It's funny looking at them because if you were to ask me what Trick Williams' ceiling could be, I would tell you take a look at Swerve.
Yep, that's so. It is actually Swerve Strickland. I'm sorry, the message got delivered wrong, but it's fine because Swerve Strickland's going to be fucking fire.
That is awesome.
Absolutely
awesome.
That's going to be a banger.
So he actually reached out to us to work with us, apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, that's impressive.
So we're making waves. Right. If we're yeah.
A-Train, if you, you and I will talk a bit later, but please continue on.
Yep, I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I just wanted to make sure that everything got cleared up. the message got delivered a little wrong, which I don't care because Swerve Strickland is. I love the guy. I'm good with
Greatness.
Swerve.
Facts.
We got.
So sorry, boys.
That's what I thought.
Don't kill the messenger.
Nah, you're
but
good.
we will have Swerve Strickland on Ringside Rewind.
That's fire, man.
That is awesome.
Shout out to Swerve, man. This is gonna be a fire show, man.
Next time, before I break news, I'll make sure that I get everything in line. But it is Swerve Strickland. 100% it's Swerve Strickland this time. I won't be back.
I assure you, you can break with news anytime about anything, and we know it's going to be fire. So
yep. So Swerve Strickland joining Ringside Rewind. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's like Swerve's at the top, man. We got the tippity top.
Yep.
What do we talk about? Anyways, with Swerve, y'all heard this. We're gonna have Swerve Strickland on the show, man. Man, what a dog. What an absolutely dog, man. If I'm not mistaken, he's in AEW right now.
he is.
He's in AEW.
I have followed this man's career from the time he was in the Indies, and I look forward to being able to speak to him about some of the things he's encountered from then to now.
For sure. That's why you're definitely going to be on the show with us, Zip. I'll definitely make sure I send you that link. That way you'll be here. This is going to be fire. Hey, this is LOL.
Going back to Trick Williams and Sammie Zyann. And the funny thing is, I thought Sammie Zyann was going to win this match all the way up until SmackDown. When Sammie gave the promo on SmackDown, and he said to Trick, "Well, what have you accomplished?" I said, "Oh, hot damn it, he's going to lose the title." Just that one line made me realize he was going to lose the title. But I do have to say one thing also before Mania on that SmackDown, that haluva kick to the gingerbread man's head that made it do a 360 was about the funniest thing I've seen all year. I laughed my ass off about that for at least a good 20 minutes. I just could not stop rewatching it. It was great. Getting back to the WrestleMania match, it was a typical Sammie Zyann match. It was excellent. Sammie Zyann is the most unappreciated guy when it comes to wrestling in the ring. The guy can do anything, wrestle any style. He can make anyone look good. He's one of those guys, put him in there with a broomstick. By the time the match is over, you'll be saying, like, damn, that broomstick could be a contender. You know, he's that guy. He's that good.
For sure. Hey,
people need to start putting respect on his name.
For sure. Like the way everybody booed Sammie Zyann when he got the title. Sure, I understand it. Y'all want to see Sammie Zyann with the bigger title. Y'all want to see Sammie Zyann with the undisputed title. But like Zip said, and we're all going to give 100% credit to Zip for this because Zip's been saying this for weeks. Saudi Arabia, that's where Sammie Zayn's going to get his title. At that WrestleMania, next year's WrestleMania.
Next year, it makes sense. It makes sense.
It's that simple. Now we got 3 more matches to talk about with WrestleMania, and then we're going to talk about. We got one more thing to talk about after that, and that's the main event of Monday Night Raw.
Yes, sir.
So our next match, the Demon, Finn Balor. The Demon is back. Was back. Came back for one night, which I thought that was kind of stupid. Why don't he just stay? Anyway,
I like that it's an attraction to see the Demon. I don't want to see Demon Balor every week. I don't, because it loses the attraction of it.
Yeah,
I want to feel like whenever Finn Balor has to go to that place, it means something. It means he's just about at breaking point. He can't take it anymore. He's about to snap, or he has finally snapped, and the Demon has come out. So I like that it's rare that he does this. And it was great to see him in that mode as always. The look, the character, the entrance, phenomenal. Props to Dominic Mysterio. His entrance was simple, but I liked it. It looked like he was giving a lot of props to the Lucha legacy. So props to him for that as well. And again, I really enjoyed this match. I did.
The match was great, man. I loved how Finn won. I loved how he got Dom with the chair Hit him into the
Yeah.
Yo, talk about that, man. Like the chair on the neck and then hit him to the turnbuckle. Oh my god, that looked horrible. Ugh. That looked like that hurt.
Robert, we have watched Dominic Mysterio basically go from I don't want to say he was a beginner when he entered a wrestling. Well, I think him and Seth had their first match, his first match at Mania. So I don't want to say he was a beginner then. I'm sure he had done some training behind the scenes, but we have watched him grow, not only as a man, but as a wrestler,
For sure.
basically since near the beginning. And you have got to believe that Finn has played a huge part of that once he became part of the Judgment Day. So
100%.
when you look at Dominic now, the man has really gotten a good grasp of what it takes to be a top wrestler. He still has a bit of growing to do. I'd like to see him add on some mass, his size, but the psychology, he is there. Gotta think his future's bright.
For sure. Match itself, it was great. Dom's future's bright. Finn's future's bright. Man, it was a great match. Now, will we see the Demon at another pay-per-view? Most likely, yes. But will we see him at Monday Night Raw? No. I think they're gonna, like you said, they're gonna save the Demon for pay-per-views. That's when we'll see the Demon. But now getting into the co-main event and the main event. The co-main event for me, it was easy for me to predict. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. But even though the match was easy to predict that Rhea was going to win, Jade, if any of y'all ever tell me again that Jade Cargill can't wrestle, I'm leaving. I can't listen to it, man. I watched Jade Cargill put in some of the best work I've seen her put in, and she can wrestle. She can get down with it. She got down with Rhea, man. One of the best. What's your thought?
I'm with you on this, partner. I think when people look at Jade, they need to stop expecting her to be a mat-based ground chain wrestler. That's not what she is. She is a raw powerhouse. There's a reason other women don't look like her. She's a freak of nature in a great way from the way she's built. She comes across as a powerhouse, as a wrestler who generally relies on a power. You're not going to be the most technical wrestler there is. Your game isn't based on that. That being said, if you need any indication that she can be more than just a powerhouse, look at this match versus Rhea.
Yep.
Jade gave you a lot to work with. So it also is going to require somebody that can adapt to her size, because I also feel most ladies aren't used to working with somebody with Jade's size. But Rhea, who matches up great with Jade, it really shone through. So I give tons of credit to Jade on showing what you can do, because that might have been your best match. And I'm give props to Rhea. That was one of Rhea's best matches.
For sure.
It really highlighted what they each can do with each other. So I can't wait to see these two face each other again down the road. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were absolutely brilliant.
Now, before we get into the main event, I want to shout out Jade and Rhea, man, because they both, like you just said, they both put on one of their best matches. Me personally, and I know I do leeway with everything, with every match on it, because I just like the WWE. But me personally, I would rank this match past a 5-star. Getting 10 stars.
All good.
But the main event, man. And before we even talk about the main event, we know it's Roman and Punk. But before we talk about the main event, I'd like to get a round of applause for him, man. Because
it was really well done. It really was.
No interference. None.
No.
None. And they both folded it out till they had nothing left. Nothing. I'm talking about they both GTS, double GTS. Roman falls back on his shoulders. He goes for another GTS. Cut and fill the GTS. And man, he got that spear. 1, 2, 3. and there's your new champ, the Tribal Chief. I loved how Roman got to celebrate with his family after that. That kind of made me happy, man, because all these being on the road and everything, it's hard for him to be with his family. He has so many kids. He has a wife he wants to be with. I'm pretty sure that's why he was part-time in the first place. I mean, even when he's not at work with the WWE, like I'm pretty sure you said this, he still has a job. Got 10 kids.
Oh yeah.
But what was your thoughts on that?
I agree with you 1,000%. Props to both of these guys for telling us an amazing story in the ring. Okay, the wrestling was great, but what captured me about this was the wrestling. Two guys who were pushing each other to the limit. We saw the desperation and trickery of CM Punk, removing the tape from his wrist, throwing it at Roman. The referee grabs the tape, goes to throw it out the ring. He hits Roman with the low blow to show the desperation and the last ditch effort to pull something off. I absolutely love the ending with him just not having enough left in him to deliver that second GTS. Sure. Then getting hit with a spear, but him being strong enough to at least get out of that and taking a swing at Roman, standing up and then taking a second spear. The storytelling on this one was perfect. Even though Punk lost, he did not look weak. He might have looked weak in the moment. He just didn't have the strength to pull it out. But his character doesn't come off as weak. He can just simply say, "Hey, you know what? The strength of his conviction that day was stronger than mine. You know what? He might have won, but it doesn't make him the better man. He could always come back with that." It was really well done. It was just really well done.
For sure. I also like to add a part that we both left out. CM Punk went to go do one of Roman Reigns' spears, but before he did the spear, he went to go grab an Olafala from the fans.
Yeah.
He grabbed a fake Olafala, man. Man. Talk about the storytelling. Storytelling, perfect. That added to the story, that made it even more perfect. I loved how he did that.
Maybe it was just me, but going back even to the beginning of this match, not CM Punk, but Phil Brooks looked like he was generally enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Think about when the match started with him and Roman in the ring. He seemed like he was joking around a bit, smiling a little more than usual. He was really soaking this in as his first true main event. Yes, I know night one of Mania, they do have a main event, but it has always been considered that the main event is the last match of night two. Yep. That it closes the show, and this was his first time actually closing the show. Props to him, man. Props to both of these guys. They really put it in. They told a great story. I overall, I know some people for some reason weren't happy about Mania. I thought that this was a very solid Mania.
No, it was an absolutely banger. Definitely night two. Night two, they didn't go wrong with at all, in my opinion. At all. Night one, there was a lot of interference. Night two, I thought the Usos would have interfered or something, but it didn't happen. And props to the creative team, props to the writing team. You did great. I usually don't say that. You did great. Now, for the last topic of the night, to end the show off, Roman Reigns came out at the end of Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
The OG bloodline is back. Let's get that straight first. The Usos reunion with Roman Reigns. Shout out to Coach Common. He called that. He called that on JB's Live. He said the OG bloodline was going to come back. But another take he gave was that Roman was going to be Mr. Two-Time title again. That's kind of interesting. I want to see that. But before we even get into this, Backlash. Jacob Fatu comes out. Now, me personally, I thought he was coming out to acknowledge Roman Reigns. Hell no, he wasn't. No. That boy called out Roman Reigns. He said, "I'll see you at Backlash. That Rolex is going to be mine. That car that you drive, that's going to be mine. That mansion, I won't have a mansion. He said, I want everything the tribal chief has. I don't want to be the tribal chief, but I want everything the tribal chief has. The money, everything. He wants to be Mr. Billion, Mr. 1 billion, you know? But man, I don't think they're going to give the title to him this early. I think Jacob joins
I knew. Oh, go ahead.
I think Jacob's going to lose. This is the way my thought process is going right now. I see Jacob losing at Backlash, right? And then he acknowledges Roman Reigns. And instead of Solo Sikoa coming back to be the enforcer, Jacob Fatu is the enforcer.
I'm going to say no, although I like where you're going. Here's the problem that I have. The WWE now has to lean into the background of why Jacob Fatu came to the WWE. Let me remind you that when he first appeared, there was a in-ring segment between, I want to say it was either Jimmy or Jay Uso, Solo, and the MFT. And one of the Usos said, well, why did you have to get him? Why did you have to get Jacob? There's a reason. It was Jimmy. He said, there's a reason we didn't bring him into the bloodline.
No. You're right. That was 100% said. But that was Jay Uso because I remember what you were talking about.
I knew it was one of the Usos. But what they need to lean into is the Jacob saying, you never wanted me here. You talk about family, but you never wanted me here. You know, am I not bloodline? Where were you? Make this as personal as possible between Roman trying to hold on to his title against possible pissed off, legit angered and bothered Jacob Fatu. Whoever should win, so be it. With Roman just winning the title, it's highly unlikely he'll lose it at Backlash, but you have to make Jacob look strong.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think for sure Jacob's going to look strong. And
I personally, and I don't like doing this, I wouldn't even have a clean finish. I wouldn't even let Jacob get pinned. If anything, I would just have a disqualification somehow. Either let Jacob just snap and go overboard or have the bloodline run into the ring to try to cool off Jacob, have MFT run down, have a big, gigantic family feud. If Jacob is not going to win, I do not give Roman a clean win. I absolutely do not.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm trying to think like the WWE creative team, right? And I can see them doing a DQ, but I also see at the end of the day, because Roman said this himself, and Jacob's going to end up acknowledging him. Jacob, I don't know if it's going to end up to Jacob being in the bloodline. I hope it does. And when because Roman's gonna go, I see Roman going at least to SummerSlam because they've done talked about Oba versus Roman, and he said, let's see how you do during the summer. After the summer, we can talk, right?
Yeah, I don't think they do that right away. I think that's going to take some time to cook.
I think that's WrestleMania. Yeah. I think that's next year's WrestleMania. But
possible.
But I don't think Roman loses the title to next year's WrestleMania. That's my hunch.
I don't know. Plenty of things can happen. He could lose the title, somebody regain it back. Millions of things can happen. It's a long time. 1 year is a long time in wrestling.
For sure.
So you're right. Could it happen? Very possible Roman holds on to it for a year. Is it possible that somebody else takes the title? Anything could happen in wrestling. Anything could happen. You know what? I will say I am looking forward, and I do think we'll get it somewhere down the line, a Gunther Roman series of matches. I am looking forward to see how Gunther's going to deal with Roman's actually a bit quicker than I think people realize. And how is Roman going to do with somebody as technically based, but also as hard hitting was Gunther? So I look forward to that. I think we'll get that possibly. That, depending on what happens with Lesnar, that may be the SummerSlam match.
Yeah, I can see that happen at SummerSlam, but if that happens at SummerSlam, I'm giving it to Gunther.
We'll see, brother. We will see. There's also one more thing that I do want to say that we agreed that we were going to not talk about Raw, but since we're talking about the champions, Cody Rhodes did make an appearance. He was banged up. And who came out during, it was actually, pardon me, CM Punk was doing a promo, and Cody Rhodes came out. And it basically alluded to the fact that those two may be crossing paths somewhere down the line.
For sure.
Maybe not immediately, but they didn't quite say whether it would be right away or later. But there was definitely they left it on a note of Punk leaving the ring and Cody saying to him, "Just let me know when," as if to say, "Let me know when you want this match and we'll do it." So it's, we're looking at Fatu, we're looking at Roman, we're looking at which is Backlash, we're looking at Cody, we're looking at Punk at a time to be announced. So the WWE's, it's in good hands. It's still got a pretty good future.
100%, man. It's gonna be great. Y'all, that's all we got for y'all today. Shout out to Zip Zap Zip. Let them know about your TikTok and your social media real quick.
This is very simple. Ladies and gentlemen, follow me on TikTok under Boombox. That is who I am. But more importantly, please stay tuned to this show. We will be taking you places, hopefully bringing you more and more with insight, as well as having people join us. So, Robert, as always, thank you for the invite. Great time as always.
And not to mention real quick, and thank you for coming out. Zip. Thank you, man. But before we leave tonight, one last time, one huge announcement. Me and Zip Zap, we will be hosting an interview on Ringside Rewind with the man himself, Swerve. What can I say? We got Swerve on the show coming soon. Y'all stay tuned for that. Me and Zip, we're gonna have an exciting interview with him, man. We might even re-go over WrestleMania with him.
What's a swerve when I drive?
Yes, sir. So we're gonna have Swerve on the show. Y'all stay tuned for that. Thank you for coming out, Zip. And as always, this is Robert with the Not Move Podcast. And as always, stay not moved. See y'all Saturday. Zip.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.